I started doing this early on when I started making these drawings and paintings, knowing that I was going to make a book out of them. So I took 11 by 17 nice quality paper, it's a little heavy, and folded it in half, and then glued 4 of the paintings or drawings that I had completed onto it. And this is what I'm going to make a sketchbook out of. I'll show you a few, and then I'll show you what I'm going to do. So that was one bigger one. So like I said, I've been doing this for about a year. Whoops. So there are lots of sketches. And many of them I've already gotten ready on these folded sheets of paper, but now I'm going to spend a little time and get the rest ready, and then I will show you how I bind it. Anyway, you get the idea. I'll be back in a minute with showing you how I put one of these together. Now you could work with any size paper, but it should have a little weight to it. I just fold it once. I started out spray gluing these to the paintings or drawings to these folded sheets of paper, but I've decided it's a lot easier and probably easier for somebody to remove later if they wanted the drawing by just using a little double-sided tape. So that's what I'm doing for the rest of them. I just need to cut them in some way that they don't have all the rough edges or that they fit onto each sheet. And so I'll do this one and then I'll get back to you. You really want some weight to this to hold up as a cover. And you don't have to have one big sheet. You can, I am going to cut this up, so you could start with smaller sheets, but I find this handy. And what I need is a front, a back, and a spine. And so I want this to be, you know me, I'm not like an exact person. I'm not going to measure this and then measure this. I'm just going to sort of look and see that I need a little bit extra around it. Okay, I'm back. Now, I've got one for the front or back cover. Here's where a measurement becomes important, because this piece is going to be your spine of your book, and it needs to be thick enough that it will hold all of your pages. And this book is really large, or going to be really large, and I have figured out already that I need at least a 3-inch spine, and I'm going to make it 3.5 just to be sure. All right, I have a front and a back cover and a 3.5-inch spine, which makes her a very large book. but this is going to be a very large book. All right, stay tuned. I wanted to use this pour that I made and to turn it into the cover for this book, but unfortunately it's not tall enough. I can get 1/2 of the cover out of it that way, and I need to sacrifice another pour to get the other one. So I'm just gonna use these 2 covers and cover my cardboard with them. And I make a lot of pours. I'm not at all worried about sacrificing one of them for a project as special as this one. So I am just going to cut the fabric out of this, or the canvas. And I don't need to cut this piece because it pretty much works as is. And we'll start with that one. I'm going to put the out-facing part of the cover itself, down. And I am going to use double-sided tape for this. You just saw a sign of why my studio gets so messy when I'm doing projects, is because I don't stop and figure out what to do with scraps and trash while I'm making something. They just end up on the floor, and then I clean it up later. To each his own. All right. Now you have to fuss with these a little bit. Whoops, I already got it crooked. Doesn't really matter, but I want to make sure I have enough canvas all the way around it. Okay, there's one. And then I pull it down tight, and I do 2. And this is where it gets a little bulky. And so I want another piece of tape here. I'm sure there are a million ways to do this, but this is pretty much what I do. Nothing is necessarily right about what I do. All right. Try to get it as flat on the corners as I can. Pretty good. Sometimes I will clip these and leave them for a while just to flatten the corners. Here I am all about using up materials that I already have. So that's what I'm doing here. And so you could do all sorts of fun decorative things. You could trim these edges, you could use fabric things, you could just, oh, there's so many things to do. I do like to, at the very least, round my corners. Somewhere I have a little tool that does this and does it perfectly, but I don't know where it's at. I'm not going to stop to find it. We're just going to do this. that's what it's going to be like. Now, I am going to go get some spray glue, spray the back of this. I've got some super strong spray glue. I have to do it outside, so I'm going to go do that and come back with this glued, and then I'm going to clip these down so that they dry, press down, and hopefully more secure than they would otherwise. All right, off I go. If I was doing a smaller book with a narrower spine, I would be able to do this in one strip of duct tape, but because this is a large spine, I'm going to have to do it in multiple strips. All right. Excuse me. I'm stuck to my duct tape. All right, there we go. What am I doing here? Let's back up here a little bit. All right, here's the cover, and if it matters to you which side is up and down, figure that out now. And I'm going to just lay this down with a little overlap. Now here's the important thing. You do not want to tape this right next to this piece because then it won't fold. So you need about a 1/4 of an inch space between the cover and the spine at least. And I'm going to just eyeball that. There we go. And that will allow me to turn this. All right. I'm going to be going round and round the spine with more duct tape, so I'm not worried about it covering every edge at this point. You might find a way better way to do all of this than I have discovered. But I do want to line those up carefully. All right, so that is just a hair above that. All right, that should do it. It does not hurt to have extra reinforcement of either cardboard or tape for the spine. kitty. And you want your cut edges to be inside, not on the top or bottom of the book here. Nice. Well, that was a little messy. All right, so I am going to wrap this string or cord, I guess it's more of a cord than string, around the spine as many times as I can fit on here. And it's going to be hard to do it all on camera because it's just awkward, so you get the idea. I'll be back in a minute when I get it all wrapped. You want to make an effort to not crisscross these strings because you're going to have to slip paper through them, and if they're all tangled up, and that won't work. This is a little tricky to hold on to that first string and get the string pulled tight enough that you can take up some of that stretchy slack and keep wrapping. But I've done this enough times that it's not quite as awkward as it was the first time. I hope you can see some of this. I suppose you could do 2 sets of this if you got tired handling this big of a wrap. You could do it in 2 sections or more sections. I'm going to carry on here while I can. I actually might do another section here because this is getting awkward. All right, once I come to wherever I'm going to stop, I need that first string. Well, things are falling all over the place. I'm going to make a mess here. Where's the end? All right. All right, I have this piece, and I have this first piece, and I'm going to tie them and then wrap this one of them underneath all of them like that, or something like that. I lost it here. Okay, so you pick up all the strings, you wrap it under, one of them under. It's hard to do, but not impossible. And then I like to take just like to wrap it around a little bit more. And then I will tie them. Can you see that? I hope so. All right, let's do one more because that's not enough string for all my pages, even though I'm going to have multiple pages. Let's take a look at the inside here. So you don't have a tie on the inside because you're going to be slipping your artwork underneath that. So I'm going to make another one side by side to that one. I could have done it all in one piece, but I was just finding it hard to hold on to and just awkward. All right, so okay, I have 2 wraps, and I'm just going to go ahead and do another one because I have so much art to fit in this book. So I'm going to push everything over to the side here and then do another one right here. Okay, so I did 3 segments, and I kind of like the look of it. I like that it's not just one. And you can foo-foo this, you can put beads on these, trinkets, little, whatever you like. All right, this is what it looks on the outside, and then the string, of course, does not have a knot on it on the inside because that's where you're going to slip the paper through, and I'll show you an example of that right now. And the deal with this is that you really don't want the inside pages to crisscross. So I'm just going to take a few. This may not be the order that they stay in, and it's not necessarily the order that they were made in, but they were all made as part of this challenge. So basically you're just picking up a piece of the cord and slipping the artwork under it like that, and then you continue. All right, I'll be back with more. And I'm putting 3 together. And slipping all 3 under the next string. I'm starting to see that I will have enough string to do all of this without putting 3 in each one, so I'm reducing that to 2 pieces of art, 2 pages of artwork per string. This one happens to be a really heavy one by itself, so I'm just going to give it its own little piece of string here. Same with this similar one. I think it's because I had a heavier watercolor paper that I was working with. All right, I may add some little beads, and I may do some decorative work inside. But this is basically how the sketchbook now works. And I will take you on a little tour. If you want to stick around and watch a little further, you can see some of the drawings within. But this is basically how it works. You can take out any of these pages at any time, just slip them out, put others in, rearrange them, reorder them. It's a lot of fun.
you.